Jonathan Rea, back at EICMA. What a reception you had this morning here in the Yamaha stand. It was a kind of a rock star style, I think, this reception.
It's so nice, it's my real first PR commitment in blue, and both Yamaha and also the fans have been so receptive, so nice, and it's cool. It's a cool story because, let's say, I started my whole motorsport journey with Yamaha with a PW50, potentially the most iconic motorcycle in the world for kids, and it's nice to finally get the chance to ride a Yamaha. Of course, I've been competing against, more recently, Toprak and Locatelli, so I could understand the strengths of the bike, and then I got my first chance to ride in Jerez, and it was really, really nice.
We saw that you took a picture with a PB50 this morning. I think you started to ride this bike when you were 5 years old. What memories do you have from when you were a child? And I think that destiny, connected all the pieces that you are back at Yamaha.
My father was a racer, and he always raced with Yamaha, with the YZF range. And I remember his mechanic and helper, he could use a camera. And I remember in my friends, he had a farm with lots of land, and we would go with our peewees and race, and my father's helper would commentate on the races, and we would watch the videos back, and I started to feel like my father. I started to feel like a racer, and it's really nice. So also my son Tyler and Jake, they had PW50s, and it's really nice to be in the Yamaha family. Of course, I left a really nice team behind, but I found another great family in Yamaha, and first experiences have been really good so far.
As you said last week, the first experience with Yamaha, you had 1 week at home to digest that first test. How optimistic are you at the moment?
Well, it's so early, to be honest. I'm not thinking ahead, really. I asked the team in the first test just to ride a base bike, not to test too much, because I need to ride the bike in the limit first before we start testing items that we have to be clear for the future. So Jerez was, basically I used a base bike from, let's say, Toprak and Locatelli combination. I tried some different chassis dimensions, wheelbase, but apart from that, I just rode. I did laps and laps, and I think the next test will be more real testing, where we can start to test some parts for the future. But I've been really impressed. Behind the scenes, Yamaha are working really hard. Also with the other teams, there's a lot of support, a lot of data together, and I think we're going to work in a good way this winter.
At the end of the two at Jerez, you said that now you can see why Toprak was riding that way. Can you go a bit further with that statement? And it will be a matter of you adapting to the Yamaha style, or Yamaha changing a little bit to your style?
Toprak's been doing great things with the Yamaha. We see spectacular riding styles, but you only have to look at the last photo of the season. Was Toprak crossing the line in front of Bautista, but in the back was Domi Agutter and Remy Gardner. So they have different styles. The Yamaha has a big window. You can ride the bike aggressive like Toprak, or you can ride very smooth like Locatelli. The bike's working well, and I was quite impressed already in the first out. I was using the same braking references I was with my previous bike, but with much more margin. When I compare the data of Toprak, it's in braking. I don't have to do any more to be better than Toprak on the brakes, because this bike accepts both ways of riding, and it's going to take time to understand my best way with the Yamaha. Of course, I have to make the bike mine, the position, fine-tuning the last parts, but we have a lot of days now before Australia. But the idea is to go to Phillip Island and be competitive from the first day.
When we watch back Toprak CV at Yamaha in the last 4 years, it's been impressive. Is this an extra motivation for you to create a great story from 2024 beyond?
Well, not really. Not motivated by Toprak. Of course, he was the guy to bring them a world title since Ben Spies. It was very, very nice. I was right there to the end with him, in Lombok. I remember the race very well. But finally, this is my story with Yamaha, and I hope to start well I have a really good feeling. Like I mentioned before, I needed a change of mindset, a change of team, and I have a good feeling what's ahead. I think we can have a great partnership together.
Last one, you just mentioned Australia. We know that Toprak went there on his debut with the Yamaha. I know that you will tell me it's early days, but have you imagined that first weekend, racing weekend with Yamaha, and in your dreams maybe a win there, because it's a circuit that I think you love?
Yeah, that would be honestly beyond expectation. Season's very, very long. We've seen many times in the past that Phillip Island always doesn't create the trend of the season, but it's, we want to be competitive, and if we aim for the podium and we aim to be competitive, why not aim to win? It's a circuit I love. It's like my second home. My wife's from there, and would mean a lot. I remember my first race with my previous bike, I won there, and would be a dream come true to win in Phillip Island with Yamaha.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, and all the best.
Cheers.